think there has been a dry eye out here. Deborah, I'm really am relating to your story. I think everybody out here. Is it because you're mothers that you're relating? I think all of us just burst into tears here. There isn't a dry eye here. Let's go on. Sheila, you are expecting a baby. There, as many as 10% of the women who are imprisoned in this nation are pregnant. Sheila, you're one of them. And when you hear this story and you hear, I mean, first of all, what's going to happen to your baby after you have it?
My mother would come and get it from the hospital.
You have another child already, and your mother's caring for that child. What does your mother think about that? Is that a burden on her? Is that...
At first, she was angry because of the situation that I did to put myself here from the beginning. But it's something that she's accepted because with me, and by me going through a drug program, I kind of changed a lot of ways, you know. So it's kind of helped her. And then by me and my brother being away, she's lonesome. So, you know, she has no bad feelings or vibes about it now. But at first, it was upsetting.
This has got, you know, we say that when one person ends up behind bars, the entire family is imprisoned in one way or the other. There's the rain, but I'm keep going, folks. I'm going on. How did you end up here in the first place?
What really brought me here is the use of drugs, period. You know, I just was one of those hard-headed children that just wanted to do what they wanted to do because I had a lot of things in life. I can't say that I was brought up wrong or whatever. I made these decisions myself, you know, so I went to the drug life.
How will you deal with the fact, because my understanding is that once you have a baby in prison, you spend one night in the hospital, and then the baby is gone the next day, either to a relative or to a foster care program.
True.
How are you going to deal with that?
I have to put it on my serenity prayer. That's the only thing that I can put it on. You know, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. That's all I can do, you know, so...
Yeah. Is that what you go... Serenity prayer, I take it that's a big one here. Everybody seems to say that same prayer, except the things you cannot change. And the courage to know the difference, right? Change the thing. Okay. Christine, what is your story? How did you end up here?
I'm convicted on first-degree murder. But basically, nationwide, I don't know, but in the state of Alabama, they do not have an accessory law. You were talking earlier about how you can end up in prison, about the bad checks, the different things. You can also end up in prison for just what you know.
For what you know?
For what you know.
Now, explain that to me based upon your story.
My now ex-husband told me that he killed someone. I was in the area. I did not see the crime actually committed. But because I had knowledge of the crime and did not go forth to the authorities, the way the law reads in the state of Alabama, that makes me just as guilty.
Makes you an accessory to a crime.
That's right.
And that's how you ended up here.
That's
Did you
right.
ever dream in your wildest dreams that you'd be in the penitentiary?
I don't think any of us do. You know, I don't think anybody ever wakes up one day and says, I think I'm going to go be a convict. You know, that's not our dream or our goal in life, but as we've all said, it can happen to anyone. You know, a lot of times people say, you get in your mind, what does a typical convict look like? Look in the mirror, because it can be anybody. You can get caught up in a situation, you know, at any point in your life, and your freedom can be taken away from you in the twinkling of an eye.
Now, you got into trouble because of an association with a man. Now, is there a man behind a lot of getting in trouble? I mean, running with... How many of you, in a show of hands, had some guy involved that you were running with or hanging out with or a husband that got you in the type of trouble that you got in? Let me also ask you this. How many of you here were actually in for drug use, possession, anything dealing with drugs? That's a large number of folks. We're going to continue this conversation just as soon as we get back. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are here in Alabama at the Tutwiler prison for women. One of the things that we were talking about before is that 80% of the women in prison these days are mothers. And dealing with how sometimes being in prison, as Deborah was saying, can help turn your life around so that you can be prepared if you get back out there. Come on and join me. What were you saying during the break we were talking there?
Well, I've been locked up 10 months, and it's depressing. It hurts me when my mom comes and sees me, and, you know, I still have stepkids and kids myself, and I have a good man in my life, but it's hard on him, and it's hard on the kids. But all I live for is visits and letters. I mean, that's just really, to me, that's all I have to look forward to is visits and letters.
I'm seeing thank you so much. I'm seeing a lot of nodding out here. Is that what life is about here? Come on.
I was raised in a very good Christian home. I don't blame my parents at all. I blame myself for getting involved with the wrong people, drugs, alcohol. And if you're a teenager or a grown-up and you're introduced to drugs, especially cocaine, that's the reason I'm here. And it's best to find some help, pick up a telephone, go to church, do something, get God in your life, and stay away from it. That's why I'm here.
Okay, come on.
I feel like that a lot of the problem is low self-esteem in women, and we are looking for outside pleasure, things to please us, and not digging deep inside to find out what's going on inside of us. We're looking for in men and drugs and music, and when we need. Since I've been here, I've gotten to know me. I've gotten to love me, for me, unconditionally.
Very good. I think the point that you made was excellent. Absolutely. Because, I mean, that's what we talk about wherever you live. You know, we talk about women and self-esteem. We're always talking about that. And that does have a lot to do with the choices that we make for our lives. And the people we hook ourselves onto sometimes that can get us into some trouble. Let me say this, that because we were so, I mean, it hurts me to my heart to think about families being separated, mothers without their children. Linda, I know that you have never seen your grandbaby. And when we talked to Deanna, your daughter, we asked her to do something very special. We asked her to let you see your grandbaby. And we have brought her here for you. Isn't she beautiful? Look at those curls. I know how that girl feels. Hey, little one. That's your grandmama. Look at her. How did you get that little boo-boo on your nose?
Her sister-in-law, little boys.
She's running in there. What are you thinking, honey?
So marvelous. I've never seen this girl. I've seen pictures of her. And I've wanted to see her so long.
Deanna, I'm going to sit back and let you guys have a talk for a minute. Why don't you sit down? Come on, you're not going anyplace. Just come on, sit down. Sit down. It's a little wet, but we're keeping on going because the sunshine sure came out when you came out there.
Yeah.
What's the grandbaby's name?
Her name is Danielle Nicole.
Danielle Nicole. It's a big day for you. You can hold this if you want to. Absolutely. Deanna, what are you thinking here? I mean,
It's hard on me because my mother's here and my husband, he's at another facility also. So it's a blessing for her to see her grandchildren.